Flyvault.net presents Where the River Bends, a fly fishing short story. And now, Where the River Bends. The test results had come in, and it was what Doc Mabe had feared. The time had come to deliver the prognosis. Doc took a deep breath as he entered the room with the grim news. His patient, sitting on the edge of the exam table, was about to face the toughest battle of his life. It would be particularly difficult to tell his children, especially Rebecca, his youngest, with whom he frequently took fishing. Born on July 18th, 1973, to Bob and Dolores, Little Brother, as he was called, was the youngest of his other two siblings, Jimmy and Truly. They grew up in Ridgedale, Missouri, just north of the Arkansas border, amidst the dense, rolling hills of the Ozark Mountains, living in a house that his father, Bob, had helped build some years ago. The house was situated just across the pasture from Granddaddy Ed's house, and the family used the pasture for raising cattle. Outside of school hours, Truly and her little brother often fished along the banks of Lake Taneycomo, behind the School of the Ozarks, later becoming College of the Ozarks, where their father worked. They also spent weekends camping the banks of Taney with their father, frequented Turkey Creek with Granny, and visited their favorite fishing and swimming spot on Long Creek. Fishing was their passion, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. The title, Little Brother, was a play on words, as he was a bigger lad in his youth, and during those years he often was seen with a Bible in hand. Envisioning himself as a future pastor, he possessed a big heart and a strong passion for helping others, a trait that defined him throughout his life. During his teens, he became a bit more ornery, claiming to have wrecked the muscle car he received for his birthday while swerving to avoid a deer. Although it may have had more to do with the girls in the car and Metallica blaring from the speakers. By the age of 21, he had discovered and immersed himself in the world of fly fishing, mastering the craft swiftly, and soon began to tie his own flies. His tying skills became exceptional, leading him to supply some patterns for River Run and Anglers Outfitters, a couple of prominent fly shops located next to Taneycomo. He would also supply flies for Lily's Landing, a popular resort among the tourists and anglers visiting Branson. A pivotal moment occurred in 1997 when his PMS fly pattern gained renown for its effectiveness, leading Rainey's Fly Company to include it in their fly catalogue. This confidence boost drove him to start his guide service, specializing in taking his guests out at night when the big fish came out to play. His rule was simple: you're going to catch fish, or I'm taking you out tomorrow night for free. He had become a legend with the locals, and often becoming friends with his patrons. By 2010, he had taken up work as a truck driver alongside his sister Truly. They would frequently banter back and forth over the radio, often using less than appropriate language as truckers tend to do, sometimes putting on his #1 fan foam hand, only with the middle finger instead of the index finger, riding high just to salute his friends or co-workers with. But his mind was always drifting back to fishing. In 2017, it was discovered that he had numerous ulcers. Embracing the situation, he would give them names as a way to help keep a smile on his face. It would be the following year that he would learn that they had turned cancerous, and instead of fighting fish, he would begin to fight for his life. It was around that time that his decades of experience on the river led him to develop an almost perfect sculpin pattern that smashed fish night after night. He took great pride in the flies that became mangled after an outing, coming up with the acronym ABC flies, or already been chewed on flies, often showing them off to family and friends. This led him to get a tattoo that became somewhat famous locally and on Facebook, helping to increase his reputation more broadly. Even though he was battling cancer, he never gave up hope, and he never stopped helping others. Like a young lad sitting on the banks one day, almost in tears. He was the only one not catching any fish. Unacceptable to little brother, he stopped fishing to help the boy, and that he did by showing him how to retrieve the bait just right, so he too could catch a few, and making the 10-year-old's day. By now, it was mid-2023, and his situation had turned. Truly was spending as much time with him as she possibly could, even ditching work to go fishing with him, helping to keep his spirits up. On March 30th of 2024, the memories were moving swiftly through the mind of Truly Ferguson. It seemed like only yesterday when her and her little brother were playing down at the creek. The day she so badly didn't want to happen had finally arrived. Sitting next to his bedside and holding her little brother's hand, she watched him close his eyes for the final time. And the legend of the Sculpin King was solidified forevermore. Sometimes in life, we revere people we meet as legendary. Some are born to be legends, others we give that title to. I think in the case of Little Brother, aka Leonard Tyrone Keeney, the Sculpin King, he earned that title with distinction. And now you have heard a long-lost story from a tyre's bench, and one you can share with your friends when you meet them. Where the River Bends. I stopped by to drop off some mail that came to me by mistake. That's when I saw your subscribe button in the kitchen with a shopping cart full of mayonnaise. He was using his hands to scoop it into the sink, one jar at a time. I thought maybe I was dreaming, until he said he was preparing for the Cinco de Mayo party. You better hide the wife's pearls before the bead necklaces get passed out. Take care, my friends, and as always, happy tying.
Good morning. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm tying up some size 14, dark gray. Getting a little faster. I'm down to about 30 seconds per scud. So that's about pretty decent.